One of the things that I want to go over today is based on an article that came in from Joe Schillero. I think that should be out again, probably this week, next week, whenever this drops. It is 3 surprising ways. Wait, what does it say? 1 second. Let me just check my chicken scratch here. 3 surprising ways that, 3 surprising reasons that you aren't getting stronger. Sorry, a little chaotic there. And in that article, he kind of goes over 3 not so thought after reasons as to what could be hampering your ability to progress in the gym, right? So I'm not going to give those away. Check that article out. Joe Schillero is an absolute goldmine when it comes to information, and y'all should read that all the time. So what I wanted to do today is, first and foremost, and Sheena's going to laugh because I just fucking said that again, is make sure my phone is on vibrate. Excellent. And what we're going to be doing here is kind of doing a little bit of an iPad whiteboard session to go over 3 of the action steps that you can do right now that will get you stronger in the gym. So how I categorize this is we really want to focus in on things that you can do to have an immediate benefit, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, technical, whatever that may be, to help you improve in your lifts or in your performance on the platform or wherever you compete. So the first thing, and I think is going to be what is the biggest piece of this puzzle that is missing for a lot of people, especially the people that reach to us via social media and whatnot, is, and you'll see this on the screen, personal accountability. So what I mean by that, so a lot of the times, okay. What do I mean by that? So I don't necessarily mean that you're skipping workouts or you're not doing the necessary sets and reps. What I mean by personal accountability is that you are not putting the blame on other things that are not inherently impacting the result of that. So long story short, I've gone to a few powerlifting meets this year. You see it in bodybuilding, you see it in strongman. It's the post-meet, post-contest, big, long, explanatory post, right? Where it's like, it wasn't my day, the rain, it was cloudy, the stone wasn't the right size, the plates weren't the same size. Like, it's this giant list of reasons why you suck or had a shitty meet or a shitty contest or a shitty show. And I understand the feelings that come with that. Understand how as soon as it happens, you're pissed and you're looking for something to blame. But what I want you to do, instead of doing that post or instead of thinking about all the things that went wrong, I want you to think about all the things that you could have done to help avoid that situation. For example, I'm going to use a strongman example. If I'm in a contest and it has a log press as an event, right? And I've been training on, we'll say a 12-inch log by a certain large company right down the road from us. If I roll up to this contest and the log is different, but it's the same diameter, I should be strong enough to hit the lift, but I can't. And I miss the event and I zero the event. I have one of 2 options. I can either blame the log for being a different log, or I can blame myself or start to think of ways that I could have put myself in a better position. If your game comes down, or if your meet comes down to the style of equipment they use, then your training was out of whack. You shouldn't have such a fine, thin difference between success and failure. You need to broaden that gap. You could have had a much better training cycle if you just focused in on getting a little bit stronger, because if you were a little bit stronger, that technique breakdown, all of that, sort of negative shit that happens when the equipment is slightly different goes away. If you're strong enough to lift it, you're strong enough to lift something that's relatively close to that size and shape. Make sense? I use this example in baseball all the time with my baseball guys that are pissed off after a game. They will constantly blame an umpire, blame their pitcher, blame their whatever. But I always respond to them saying, if your win or loss came down to the call of a third party, then you screwed up. You should have thought about scoring more runs. You should have thought about not giving up so many runs, playing better defense, getting on base more, right? So you're starting to see that line of thinking. And it's that level of personal accountability that can make or break performances for strength athletes or anybody, right? So that's number one. And that's something that I think everybody kind of needs to spend more time with, right? Because at the end of the day, you are to blame, you are to praise for any and all success that you have, right? Obviously, there's going to be a bad call. Obviously, shit can go wrong. Shit can go bad. But even then, what's the point in getting mad about that, right? I'm not trying to say don't get pissed off, don't do all this, but at the end of the day is like, if it's out of your control, it's out of your control. If you are happy with what you've done, the effort that you've put in, the results that you think you can do or you should be able to do, then all this other shit kind of goes away, right? Then the equipment doesn't matter because you're strong enough to lift it. The plates don't matter because you're strong enough to hit the numbers that you picked. Or even better, you pick the appropriate numbers based on an objective measure of your training cycle. Make sense? These are all those little decisions that will make you stronger in the long haul and will make you stronger in the short term because it will help you guide you to better decisions in the gym, help you guide to better decisions outside the gym with your nutrition, with your sleep, right? So taking that personal accountability is very, 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 very important if you want to get stronger right now. The second thing we got here is something that I know a lot of you don't really do based on the questions I see. Stick to a plan. Now, everybody has ADD nowadays, it seems like. With all the social media platforms getting shorter and shorter, everything's 15 seconds, 10 seconds. It seems like it's difficult for people to focus on anything for an extended period of time or even a moderate period of time. Same thing with training. If you're a newer lifter, anything will work. I hate to say that out loud too much, but it's true. Like if you are putting in consistent effort in any direction, you are going to get better at it. Now, this is easier to do when you're a beginner because it's like, all right, I'll just do the same plan and it'll work and I'll get stronger until a certain point and then it doesn't. But what happens when you get stronger, when those newbie gains kind of go away? That's when sticking to a plan makes such a big difference because what you're looking for when you're training is adaptation. If you're under the belief that by you merely crushing yourself in the gym day in, day out, you're going to get positive results, you're just wrong. That's not how physiological adaptation works, right? All we're looking to do is cross this threshold. So that means we need to make sure the level of input in terms of what we put in for effort in the gym, how we stick to the plan that's periodized based on what will be number 3, which will be an end goal. And we stick to that plan. Whether you follow block periodization, linear periodization, it doesn't really matter. Following something through to its logical conclusion is the only way to determine if it was successful or not. Too often I see people that are having tremendous results, meet after meet, getting stronger and stronger, message me saying, hey, I just PR'd at my last meet by like 30 pounds on everything. I want to try this new program. And I just respond back with, why? Like you're getting stronger. Why would you not continue the same path, right? Deload, take an off season and hit that same plan again to see if you can get another 30 pounds on each lift. You probably won't because it's a ridiculous amount of increase. But the fact of the matter remains, we are prone to be bored. When we get bored, we get anxious. When we get anxious, we start making crazy decisions that do not help us with long-term goals. See, having that quick sort of ADD brain when it comes to training in the gym gets very, very tricky the stronger you get, because if you have a day where you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to max, then you could ruin yourself in terms of progress for weeks, 2-3 weeks, right? If you're really, really strong, you could fuck yourself up for a month, right? What if something goes wrong when you're doing that? Right? If you're a newer lifter, you can max out almost damn near every day and you'll most likely be fine to a certain point. The stronger you get, the more considerate you need to be of the plan that you have in place, and to actually have a plan. Work with a coach, work with your training partners, write shit down, and follow a systematized thought process to a logical conclusion. And I promise you, it will make you stronger. It will make you stronger in the short term because it's building those better principles. It's building that better thought process when it comes to your training, and it will build and get you stronger in the future because you'll put successful block after successful block after successful block, and then you'll blink, 3 years will go by and you'll add 150 or 200 pounds to your total. Without a plan, we allow too many random acts to influence us, to negatively impact us. And back to number one, that personal accountability. If we know we're doing everything we need to do, if we know we're sticking to that plan, and we know that we are putting the necessary effort in where it needs to be, we're getting the nutrition, the sleep, the hydration, all the things that we need as part of that plan, then we have a greater chance of success short-term and long-term, right? So the final step, which should really be the first step, is have an end goal as well as, that's an S, compete. Now, there are a lot of people watching this and listening to this that do not compete in anything. They just like training hard. They just like using the barbell lifts, and I'm all for it. But there comes a point in your training career where competing gives you the kick in the ass that you need to really know if you're getting better. It also provides you a very clear and precise end goal for yourself, right? So if you sign up for a contest or a meet or a show, whatever it may be, that means that there is a finish line to this training block. Too often people get bored, they get sidetracked, they jump from program to program, and they'll go a whole year not making a ton of progress because they don't have like the brackets on that training program or that training year. Having that end goal in mind, and even better, having it be a competition, forces you to put better thought into your decision-making leading up to that. And when it comes to getting stronger, boosting performance, whatever it may be, how you have that plan devised, how you have that, again, essentially the steps to execute that plan become very, very, very real when you know in 6 weeks you're going to have to show up, in the strongman case, to a random parking lot surrounded by people that will probably be stronger and better than you. Having to show your skill set in front of people puts a very different spin on training and makes things a little bit more real and a little bit more urgent. I think this is also the reason why a lot of people procrastinate, right? They procrastinate for the longest time, and then the night before a test, they try to cram, right? You can't do that in training. You can't do that with competitions. You need all the time, as much time as you can, to be your best version and your best self, and your best athlete going into this particular competition. So I think it's important for everybody to compete in something at least once. Powerlifting, strongman, shit. Bodybuilding maybe for some people. I'm never going to do it because food is delicious. And I don't like the idea of kind of starving myself to that extent. I give credit to all those people that do it. It's fucking crazy that you guys have the willpower to do it. I do not. I know my limitations. But the fact of the matter remains, and I said it again, I'm going to make a little tally here, Sheena. You'll appreciate that. Is if you do not have a finish line, then you're going to lose that focus. You're going to lose that drive. You're going to lose that sort of dedication to what you're doing. Motivation only goes so far. If you have a very clear competition that you're going to throw your hat in the ring for, then it's a lot easier to stick to a plan, because come rain or shine, you got to show up and compete that day. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first time using this iPad. I think we're going to start playing with it a little bit more because this was a lot of fun. So thank you very much for checking this out, for watching this, for listening to it, whatever platform you're on. As always, check out elitefts.com. We have an amazing amount of articles. We always have some sort of sale going on. If it fits in a gym bag or on a bar, we have it and we got you covered. So check out elitefts.com for all your training needs. And on behalf of myself and the rest of the team here at Elite FTS, thank you very much for listening and watching, and we will see you in the next one.